president murdering guitarist. This guy's not done.
He's got
his brand. He's still building his brand.
He's got a shot.
I mean, he looks young and healthy.
It's funny to be fat and be like, I'm trying to get pussy. I could
so you know the story about
go
him
to the gym.
that he had. These are the legends. He had dinner at George Bush's house, apparently like a couple of weeks before he shot the president.
No.
Look up John Hinckley and the Bush family. Their families were linked. The Hinckleys, I think, gave money to the Bushes or something like that. But apparently Hinckley was a guest in a Bush house an alarmingly short amount of time before he shot President Reagan. So he's like
regular contributors to the Bush campaign.
Yes. How's your son? How's your boy John? Oh, I got to tell you, he's troubled. He's troubled. Troubled, is he? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe I should have a talk with him.
He's like, hey, you want to fuck Jodie Foster?
Oh, he's like, so tell me what's going on. I'm just really into Jodie. I'm just really in love with Jodie Foster. I know that's weird, but I'm in love with Jodie Foster. Well, you know, son, you can't just sit on your keister. You got to do something. I mean, what could you do to get her? You know, well, how should I get? I wrote her letters. I wrote hundreds of letters. A girl like that, she's famous. You got to do something for everyone to see.
Yeah, I'll tell you who she hates.
Do something that's gonna make everybody see.
I just talked to Jodie. You know who she really hates?
I mean, if you were to do something to, you know what they say. Now, you know that Chapman fellow said. I read this in Rolling Stone magazine. He said the Beatles changed the world, and gosh, they sure did. And I changed the Beatles. That's what he said. So I don't know. I mean, a fella could find someone who's really changed in the world. I don't know. I mean, anyone, you know, Stevie Wonder, Ronald Reagan, and
Ronald Reagan,
and maybe have an effect on his life. I mean, what do you know? Anyway, so yeah, so Hinckley was like, I don't know why you're talking about that, but I know what you're saying. And so then he went to his bedroom and he looked in the drawer and he found a gun. He's like, where's this gun come from?
I left something for you.
I left you a little something.
You know what you have to do, son.
So there's an amazing movie made by HBO called The Day the President Was Shot. Richard Crenna plays Reagan, and Richard Dreyfuss plays Alexander Haig. First of all, the cottage, the White House, they have a emergency room. They have everything there. So
Hinckley.
And Hinckley got him. He got him. He fucking shot him in the armpit.
The president's in a limo.
Shot him, and then he thought his bodyguard jumped on him, and then he said, "I think you broke my rib."
You broke my ribs. I'm sorry.
That's what he thought happened. He said, "I think he broke my ribs." So they were going to go back to the White House to get him looked at, but then he started spitting lots of blood, and so they went straight to George Washington Hospital, which was just a fucking homeless people out front, and the fucking limousine by itself just screeches up, and they brought a gurney, but the president said, "I'm not going in on my back. You're not doing that."
What?
To me. It's true. And he walked in. Like, yeah. And this great, this movie, the best part is showing him, hello, walking by, and you see this black guy go like, oh shit! Like, oh shit! Like just 80s black guys who are in front of a hospital, like they're white. And they got him on the gurney, and they're going, and he came to at one moment because the nurse was holding his hand, and he said, "Does Nancy know about you and me?" And then right before he went under,
a charming devil.
Yes, the doctors, and so the doctors said, "We got to get this blood out of you, so I'm going to put you under now." And he said, "I hope that you guys are Republicans." And the doctor, who was not a Republican, said, "Mr. President, today we're all Republicans." And he saved his life. But he was he was on death's door for a few days. Now, the White House has Alexander Haig saying, "I'm in charge here at the White House. He was the Secretary of State. He had no business saying that. He was like, he made up this thing by the laws of succession. I would be next. It's like, no, you're like 20th down. And meanwhile, at the hospital, Nancy's there with the chief of staff, and there was a battle between the White House and the guys at the hospital. So they needed to prove that Reagan was functioning as a president. So they needed a photograph, and they needed him to do a piece of business. So they had the dairy bill, some bill that's like for dairy subsidies that needed to be signed.
Jackpot for those guys.
Yes. So they're like, oh, we did it,
Hinckley, baby, I love you.
Hinckley! That's what it was. It was the milk people. The milk people did the whole
Big
thing.
milk, dude.
For another 15 cents on a fucking carton of milk. So,
please.
Nancy got enlisted. And they said, you need to do this. And you need to handle him like you handled him in the movies. One more time? And so she put makeup on his face and she like slaps Ronnie, you gotta wake up. And they leaned his bed up like this. And she just kept trying to wake him up. And this is all in the movie done very well. But it's true. And they took a picture of him like, there's this picture of him. Like a really weird picture that I think did more harm than good.